After spending almost 20 years deploying Google Workspace for companies across the country, I can tell you that nearly everyone is using Gmail wrong. Over that time, we've seen thousands of inboxes and we see the same inefficiencies repeatedly. That's why I've decided to filter through the hundreds of features and advice and guidance that's out there to give you the definitive list of the most powerful features in Gmail that you can use to save yourself time every single day. I'm not going to show you the basic stuff like how to start an email. I'm going to show you things that are going to make your productivity 10x in Gmail. How to filter your emails better. How when you wake up in the middle of the night with an amazing idea that you know you're going to forget in the morning, you can schedule that in an email and get it sent to the person at a time you pick, meaning you can have a peaceful night's sleep without that idea rattling around in your head. So stick around to the end because you're about to see some amazing features in Gmail that no one knows about. They're going to save you time throughout your week and you will become a power user of Gmail. In Gmail, you can schedule an email. So you can either compose an email now and have it sent sometime in the future, or you can do the same for a reply. So if you're replying to an email, you can have that reply sent at some point in the future. And here's how you do it. You can see here I've got a new email open that I've written, but I don't want to send it just now. I want to send this at the start of next week. How do you do that? Well, next to the send button, you'll notice this drop down arrow. If you click on it, it'll give you the option to do schedule send. When you select that, this pop-up appears and it gives you some options. So you've got a couple of default times that you can do it. So tomorrow morning at 8 a.m, tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m, or Monday morning next week. You can also select your own date and time. So you just click on that and you pick a date and time that you want the email to be sent. So we'll get this one sent for Monday. We'll go with 2:52, but you can just type in whatever time you like there. And then all you've got to do is hit schedule send. You'll notice that email has disappeared. I've had this notification now in the bottom left-hand corner that the email is scheduled to be sent. There's nothing I need to do now unless I want to change that email. So what do you do if you want to change that email? All you do is on the left-hand side in Gmail is go to the scheduled label, click on that and it will list all the emails that you've got scheduled. On here, you can open the email. You can go to, you'll see this bar across the top that says when your email has been scheduled, and you can hit cancel send. Again, you can also edit the email and make any changes to it, but you do need to cancel the send first. Once you've cancelled it, it then pops back up on your screen where you can make whatever changes you want. And then you just go back down to the schedule send button again to reschedule that email to get sent in the future. Now to do a reply, all you need to do is type out your reply, and at the bottom you'll see actually I've got something here called send an archive, which is something I'm going to show you a bit later in this video. But for the time being, you probably won't see that because you probably haven't turned that feature on. But for the time being, next to your send button, you've got the drop down arrow where you've got the schedule send option again. Click on that and again it will pop up. If you've recently used schedule send, it will also show you the last scheduled time you used. So that email that we just did a compose on, that was the scheduled time that I had set up for that one initially. But now it's giving me that option again because I might want to send a few emails at that time. But of course you can just customize that and pick any other options that suit your need for when that email should be sent. So here we are, we're looking at a Gmail inbox. This is the default layout. You see at the top, you've got your primary section where all your main emails come through. Then you've got promotions, social, updates, and forums. Now, I don't like this layout because it essentially turns one inbox into 4 additional inboxes that you now need to check. But did you know, over a decade ago, Google released another inbox called Priority Inbox, and it's a feature I've been using ever since. It's absolutely fantastic for sorting and organizing your emails. To get it, you need to go to the settings cog in the top right-hand corner of Gmail. Then you'll see this option down here called Inbox Type and the layouts. Select Priority Inbox. What that does is now, as you can see, my inbox has now been separated into 3 sections. You'll see at the top, it's got important unread emails. So these are emails that Gmail has worked out are important to me. This could be people that I've emailed often, or I send emails to, or emails that I open frequently that come in. So it puts that into the important and unread section so you can find it really easily. You've then got a section below called starred. So these are any emails that you've starred. I use this personally for action, for emails that I need to do something on. That I haven't done anything yet, so I just star them and then I unstar them when I have finished with them. And then finally you get this everything else section. So once you've read an email, if you don't archive it straight away, which you should, but if you don't, it will drop down into the everything else section. But say if a newsletter came in or something that's not significant to me, not important, rather than going straight into the important and unread section, it will appear in the everything else section. therefore keeping your important unread emails exactly what they should be, the important unread emails, while everything else is, when you've got time, you can go and check those out. I strongly recommend turning on priority inbox. It does take a bit of time to get used to, but once you've got used to it, it really is a fantastic feature. And one more thing about priority inbox, you'll see that these icons here, these are called importance markers. So when you're first using it, it might take a bit of time to be trained, and it may put an email in the wrong section. So say, for example, an email that is important to you arrives and it appears in the everything else section rather than important unread. If you click on this icon here, it will turn to gold, and Google will know for next time to put that email into the important unread when future emails come in from that sender. And likewise, if it puts something in here that shouldn't be, you just click on that icon to remove the gold marker, and next time that person sends an email, or that company or whatever it comes in, it will just appear in the everything else section rather than the important unread. So you've got some controls there to filter those emails too. But do give it a go. Like I said, you do need to give it a good go, couple of weeks, but I guarantee you will not go back to the other layouts once you've got priority inbox working. And the best thing is, priority inbox is also a feature on the Gmail app on your mobile phone, so you can have that on your mobile phone. So you only get pinged on your mobile phone if an email has come through that is important unread, rather than getting notifications for all your emails. Massive time saver. Do you travel a lot? Do you go on a plane a lot where you don't always have internet connection? Contrary to what most people believe, Gmail does have offline functionality. It might be working in your web browser, but you can still use it with offline functionality, but you do have to turn it on. This is the important part. You must turn it on before you lose internet connectivity, obviously. So click on the settings cog in the top right hand corner, then click See All Settings. Across the top, you'll see an option called Offline. Click on that and then click Enable Offline Mail. Now, if you're using Google Workspace for business, you might not see this option because it can be turned off completely by your administrator. If you've got a good administrator, they'll leave this option on. Once you click Enable Offline Email, you can then select how long back you want access to offline emails. By default, it's 30 days, and you can go up to 90 days. And you can also have the option to download attachments, so you can also view them while you're offline. Once you've done that, you must hit Save Changes for this to work. Once you've hit Save Changes, your Gmail inbox will reload and resync, and it will enable offline mode. It will start downloading the emails. You can see once you've done that, you do get this message about creating a bookmark. So just for easy access, make sure that you've bookmarked your Gmail, so mail.google.com. Make sure you've got that saved in your bookmarks. But in the top right hand corner, you'll see this icon that's swirling around. That means it's downloading stuff. Once that's all downloaded, it changes to a tick, and then you've got offline support, which means you can compose emails and you can read what's already in your inbox and what replies back. And the next time you're online, you'll see that this circle icon in the top right hand corner, this synchronization icon, will start synchronizing again. And that's just making all the changes that you've done while you're offline. So that could be sending emails that you've composed during offline, bringing in new emails that you'd have missed while you're offline. So that's how you turn on offline mode. Very handy if you travel a lot and you don't have great internet connection while traveling. This next tip is fantastic if you get lots of emails come through that have a standard reply. For example, people asking for work experience. You can create templated emails inside your Gmail, so you don't have to type them out every single time. To do that and create a template, first you need to make sure you've got the template feature turned on. So click on the settings cog, See All Settings, and it's under Advanced, this option is. And under Advanced, you'll see these options here. Make sure you've got templates enabled. Once you've got it enabled, hit Save Changes, Gmail will reload, and then you'll be back in your inbox. To create a template, you hit the Compose button. If you've got a signature in your inbox or anything down here, delete that, because you don't want that to be in your template, because when you insert your template, it will insert the signature again and you'll have double signatures. So make sure your email is completely blank before you create the template. Once you're happy with that, just put your content in for the template. So I've got some stuff here that I'm just going to stick in here. So I'm going to do a work experience template. Now I've got that email there, got that all set up. All I need to do now is go onto these three little dots down the right hand side, click Templates, and then click Save Draft as a template. Select Save a New Template, give it a name. It will take the name from the subject box if you put that in there, and then just hit Save. That templated email is now saved. So if I delete this email and I hit Compose and I want to insert it, I just hit the three dots in the bottom right hand corner. I go to Templates and I select the Work Experience one, and there you go. That's automatically been put into the email, and I can send it. You can put those templates into replies and everything. Like I said though, when you create the template, make sure you're creating on a blank template and you do not have your signature there. Otherwise your signature will get copied into the template and then reinserted, and you'll have loads of signatures. So make sure it's completely blank before you do it. If you ever want to edit a template, it's simple. All you do is open the template like I've done, add some more content to it, and then go to the three dots, go to Templates, and then just go to the Save option and just save it on top of the Work Experience template that you just created. That will override what you've already done, and you've done your updates. And that's how you use templates in Gmail. But here's a big but. You can actually do email templates in Google Docs, which is better if you're working with a team of people. So let me open a new document. Did you know you could get to Google Docs by going to docs.new.com? But inside Google Docs, you've got a thing called building blocks. And inside building blocks, you can insert a email template. So we go building blocks and we go email draft. And this is essentially a template that anyone in your team can use. So you can click on the subject box and we'll just put the content in that we had in the email that I just showed you in Gmail. You could save this file into a folder in Google Drive. Maybe you call it email templates and you share that out with your team, and they can come in here whenever they want to use an email template. And all they have to do is, once they found the template they want to use, they just click on this email icon, click on that, preview in Gmail. What that's doing is creating this template in an email. So there you go. That's the email. It's popped out into this box, and the content from this document has automatically been inserted. You could even do it so the recipients, if you want specific people to always be included in a template, so they're already pre-filled as well. And that's how you do a template that you can share out with your team. You do it in Google Docs, as I've shown. Save this into a folder with all your email templates and share that out with your team. And whenever they want to find an email template to use, they just go into that Google Doc to find it. That's how you share them. It's really, really cool functionality that no one knows about, and it's going to save you time. Another common thing I see with people is that they have Gmail opened many, many times in their browser window because they've gone back and forward through the day and they've just collected loads of tabs and loads of Gmail tabs. There's a way around this. Having too many Gmail tabs can be a problem because can sometimes affect notifications and things like that. So I always recommend having Gmail in one tab. And the easiest way to keep it in one tab is to right click on the tab in Chrome and click pin. When you've got it pinned, it doesn't matter how many more tabs you open, your Gmail will always be on the left hand side, so you can always get back to it really easily, rather than having loads of different Gmail tabs open, intermixed with all the other tabs you've got open. Just right click on it and hit pin. Now the best thing about this is when you close Chrome and reopen Chrome, that tab will remain there and it will be pinned, and it will automatically reappear in the top left hand corner or wherever you've pinned it. It will always be on the left hand corner, but you may have Google Calendar and other things pinned as well, but it will always be in that pinned collection in the top left hand corner. So huge time saver. Again, it's a feature people don't realize that's there in Chrome. Now a lot of people just miss features that are actually quite clear in Gmail just because they're getting in there just to reply and respond to emails, not realizing that actually there's features in here that can make your productivity quicker because it stops you from having to go elsewhere. And it's all in this sidebar on the right hand side of Gmail. So on the sidebar, you've got easy access to your calendar, to your Google Keep Notes, to Google Tasks, and to your contacts. I won't click on contacts because that might have some people's information in there and I don't want that going on the video, but contacts will list them in there as well. Now, one of the cool features that people don't realize with this as well is that you can actually create tasks from emails, so they'll appear on the right hand side. So if I were to open this email here, when I've got an email open at any point, I can just click on this tasks icon on the top right hand corner. So this is me asking if we can schedule training for 6 people. I don't know yet, I need to check that out beforehand. So I click add to tasks. As you can see, that email has just appeared on my task. I say I want to do that tomorrow. It's appeared there, and it also has a link directly to the email. So if I'm on Google Tasks homepage, let's go to that for a second so I can show you. tasks.google.com. If I'm on the homepage and I've seen my task here and I'm not in Gmail, I can click on that and it will go and open that thread automatically for me so I can find the email which was related to that task. So this is the sidebar on the right hand side that people miss the features on. There's some other features there as well. For example, with a Google Calendar, if it's got a calendar event, I can add it directly to Google Calendar. It's just a really handy thing to have, and just to know that this sidebar exists on the right hand side because it has so much easy access, easy features to be able to use. For example, refer to a note and all that kind of stuff. Here we are back in Gmail. I'm going to show you now how to send files in a very secure manner, which allows you to revoke access afterwards as well. So I've got this email that I've composed. By the way, did you know if you click on this icon in the top right, it will actually make the email full screen for you? Some people don't know that. So rather than having in that small window in the right hand corner, you can make it a bit bigger. Now I've got it big, let's just attach a file to this. So in the past, traditionally, most people will hit the pay-per-click icon and they'll go and find the file on their computer and attach it to the email. But it's much better if you use this Google Drive option. So you click insert files using Google Drive. You've got to make sure your file is in Google Drive. And you do have an option here to upload it from your computer as well. So if it isn't in Google Drive, you can upload it from your computer and it'll be put in Google Drive, and then it will be shared via Google Drive, as I'm about to show you. So we're going to select the file that we're going to send. You can do more than one. So I've got 2 selected here. Going to click add as, I think I've got 2 selected there. Let's do 2. Yes, I've got 2 selected. Add as link. And you can see it's put the link in directly for those files. I can hit the send button now and that email will go and the recipient will be able to click on those links and access those files. The files can be any files. They don't have to be Google Docs, Sheets or Slides. It can be a zip file. It can be whatever. It just needs to be inside Google Drive. Once it's inside, once you're ready to send it, you can hit the send button. Or of course, you can schedule it for later, as I showed you in the video. So I'll hit the send button. You will get this pop up and it'll just ask what level of permission do you want the person to have access to. Just select the permission that suits you. And once you're happy with that, hit send. So because we've sent that file through Google Drive, we can actually revoke access to that later on if we change our mind. All you need to do is go to Google Drive and then you just go and find that file that we've just sent, which is this two at the top here. So here's the file, right click on it, select share again, and it will list the people you've shared it with. This was me that I just shared that file with, and all I have to do is click on viewer and click remove access, hit save. And even though I've sent the email with a link to that, when they click on that link, it's not going to open the file anymore. The other advantage, if you do send a file that's like in a Google Doc, Sheet or Slides, you don't need to keep sending more files as that file gets updated. You can just open the file, update the file, and you know that they've got the updated version. As soon as they click on that link, they'll have the latest version too. And that gives you control over your file. So you've got access to change your mind at a later date and decide that someone isn't going to have access to that file after you've sent it, which you cannot do in a traditional email. I'm just going to send this email now. So hit the send button. Oh, that was the wrong person. Didn't want to send it to them. Oh, look down here. I've got the undo option. Let me hit that. Email's back. Hasn't gone. Awesome. Save. Now, how many times does that happen to people? All the time it happens. People send emails and go, bugger, that was the wrong person. Whoopsie doopsie, I've sent it to the wrong person. How can I bring that email back? Can I bring it back? The answer is no. You can never bring an email back once it's gone. But what you can do is in Gmail is set up a feature called undo send. It's under the settings cog. So let's go settings and see all settings. And you'll see if you scroll down here, you have this undo send option at the top here, and you go a period of time. Essentially what this does is once you've hit the send button, Gmail will wait for 30 seconds before it actually sends the email. And in the bottom left hand corner, you'll get that undo send option appear. So set it to 30 seconds because you might as well set it to the longest. I can't see the point why you set it for 5 seconds. Set it for 30 seconds. It gives you enough time to change your mind. So we go back to the inbox, go back to our drafts, and there's that email that I was sending that I sent to the wrong person. I will change who I was going to send that to, stick me in there. Hit send, and you'll see in the bottom left hand corner I've got undo send now. This will stay here and I can undo that anywhere up to 30 seconds. However, I click anywhere else in Gmail during that 30 seconds, that box will disappear and then I cannot bring it back. So you've got 30 seconds to undo send, and that will stop it from sending, but do not click anywhere else in Gmail during that time. But it is a little bit of a lifesaver, and I know that it has, for a fact, it's saved many people whose email that we look after from sending emails. I've had messages in the past going, that undo send was absolute lifesaver, and I'm so glad that you told me about it and it was turned on and enabled. A bit earlier in this video I teased you about a feature called send and archive, and I'm going to show you what that is now. So this is for when you're replying to an email. So you've got an email in here. See, we've got quite a few emails in this inbox. If I click on this email and hit reply, I'm just going to stick in a Gemini generated reply just for this. You'll see that I've got an option called send and archive. What this does is, the idea of inbox 0, we've got as minimum amount of emails in there as possible because it makes it much easier to manage. Send and archive is part of this. So when I hit send and archive, the email will get sent, and the email that was sitting in my inbox will be removed and it will just be archived. It will essentially go into the all mail folder. So I've just sent that, and you can see that the email has now vanished. You might be thinking, oh, what do I do now though if someone replies? Well, if you reply, it will just pop back into your inbox. It'll pop back into the important unread section in my priority inbox when that person replies. And if I do need to find the email in the future, it's in the all mail folder. So I can just go to all mail, and there's the email just sat up there at the top because it's the most recent one I've sent. So the whole concept is to get emails out of your inbox, so they're not sitting there, because what's the point in having an email that you've replied to sitting in your inbox? The whole definition of inbox is for emails coming in. So once you've sent it, it shouldn't be there anymore. It should either be in your all mail folder or your sent items, if you like to have it in your sent folder as well, which is there as well if I click on it right there at the top. And with doing this, clears your inbox down and makes it much easier for you to manage, because the vast majority of people don't use that. They'll hit send, but then they'll still have the original emails that they received sitting in their inbox. Now, to turn on send and archive, it's under the settings cog again. Go to see all settings, and it's the is that the fifth one down? Yes, it looks like it is. You just need to click show send and archive button in reply. Once that's on there, when you reply to an email, to reply to this one, you'll see that you've got the send and archive button blue, and you've got the old send button here. So if I just put this in here and use the old send button, I've hit send. That email has not been archived, and you'll see an example here that email is still sitting in my inbox, even though it's now got 2 emails on it because I've replied. If I'd hit send and archive, that would nicely be cleared out my inbox, one less email to deal with, and it would reappear when I get a reply from the person back. Now you might be wondering, going, oh yeah, but if they don't reply, I might forget about it and I might not chase it up. Let's go to those settings again in Gmail, because when you're in settings in Gmail, scroll down a bit and you'll have this option here called nudges. Just tick here next to both of these. So this will suggest emails to reply to. So this is emails that might be sitting in your inbox for a while, or maybe you accidentally archived them, but they need a reply. Gmail's analysed it and said, as likely this email needs a reply. It will notify you about it. Likewise with follow-ups. So if you've sent an email with a question in it and you've not heard anything back, those sent emails will be highlighted at the top of your inbox. So you'll come into your inbox one day and it will have this orange label at the top saying, you sent this email 3 days ago. Do you want to add with further words, follow up, and a question mark, because you haven't received a reply. So even though the email's disappeared, Gmail hasn't forgot about it. So even if you've forgotten about it, Gmail hasn't, and it will make sure that you know that you have not received a reply to your email and you want to follow it up. Just make sure you've got those settings turned on in your Gmail settings. In Gmail, it has this really powerful feature called filters. It allows you to filter emails as they come into your inbox, automatically put them into a label and do other things with them. To create a filter, it's really quite simple to do. You do the search box at the top of Gmail. You click this options icon on the far right hand side. What happens then is that you're building a filter. You're building a customized search that's looking for specific emails in your inbox. Based on what you put in here is how it would match emails to then apply to the filter. So you can do simple ones. So you can do a filter like this that's just emails that you've received from a certain recipient, have certain things done to them. You can also do ones that include words. So if you've got a common word, here's a good one. If you put the word unsubscribe in here, it will mainly find all the newsletters that you've received, because they all have the word unsubscribe in them at some point. And then you could create a filter that automatically puts them into a newsletter label on the left hand side and gets them out of your inbox. So let's just do this one for me now. So we're going to search for emails that I've sent to this inbox as I'm in the training inbox. So I've put my email address in there. Now, once you've entered all the stuff in here that you're creating for your filter, all you want to do first is hit the search button. This will show you the results of what will come back from your filter, from what you've created, just so you can see it matches and that you're not accidentally got something in there that shouldn't be there. Once you're happy with the search results, all you do is click on the options button again and then click create filter. And this is where you decide what happens to those emails that match your search criteria that you did just previously. So you can see you've got some options here. So you can skip the email, automatically skip your inbox and just archive it. So just go straight into the all mail folder rather than sitting in your inbox. Mark as read, star it. You can apply a label, which is the option I'm going to do. So I'm going to click apply a label, and then I can choose a label or I can create a label. There's already a label here with my name on it, so I'm going to select that one. You could automatically delete my emails if you want to do by putting a tick next to that as soon as they come in. You've got the option never to send to spam. That's handy if you've got a recipient who keeps emailing you, but for some reason their emails keep going into spam. You could just create one of these filters so that their emails never go into spam. This is cool, this next feature, in that you can get it so it automatically sends a templated email back. So as I showed you earlier, we did that template for work experience. Now this is only the templates, so only the templates that are built, you created inside your Gmail. It's not the ones that I showed you in Google Docs. So these are only the ones that are unique to you that you've got in your own Gmail. But you could create a filter so whenever I send an email, it would send back the work experience template for me. Probably not ideal in that case. In that case, what I would do is I'd remove my email address here and I'd have a filter that includes the words work experience. So it's looking for emails that have come in requesting work experience, and then it would automatically just send this work experience template back to the person. You've got this option to mark emails as always important. So when you're using priority inbox, like I've shown you and recommended you should do, if you for some reason you've got and someone is sending you an email and it keeps going into the everything else section, you could create, and you want it to always go in the important one, you could use one of these filters to just mark it so it always goes into the important section. It's just a way of overriding Gmail's built-in classifications when an email comes in. If you're using the email inbox, the default one with the tabs across the top that makes you have 4 more inboxes to check, don't use it, it's terrible. If you do, you can also set a category so an email always goes into a certain tab across the top of the Gmail inbox that I showed you earlier. Once you've created your filter and you've got to this page, I'd always recommend applying it to all your previous matching emails so they all get the label applied to them. In this case, so I'm applying a label. Once you're happy with that, hit create filter. That filter is now created. If I click on James on the left hand side, you'll see that all those emails that came back when I was doing the search when I created the filter are now inside that label as well. The nice thing with labels, an email can be in more than one location. For example, you can see here in my inbox, it's actually showing me that this email is also in the James label on the left hand side. So it's in my inbox, but it's also there So it's a nice way of highlighting emails as they come in. You can have these labels applied to the email as they come into your inbox to make them stand out a bit more. But if you want to organize your emails, I very much recommend looking through and using the filter feature inside Gmail. It's on by default. Just remember to click the icon in the top right hand corner of search to start creating your filters. In Gmail, you also have Google Chat built in down the left hand side, so you can easily access all your chats. But you may not want to be pinged all the time. You want to have a bit of me time. You want to have a bit of focus time to work on your emails or just work on something else. It's easy to turn those notifications off. You can do it for a set period of time, or you can even schedule them. To do that, see in the top right hand corner, you've got this active green orb. It's green if you've been using Gmail or Google Chat within the last 10 minutes. It turns yellow otherwise. But in here is where you can control your do not disturb settings. So if you click on do not disturb, you've got some options that you can just straight away for how long you do not want to be disturbed for. But you can also set a do not disturb schedule. So you may want it so you don't get interrupted at night time. Just put a tick in there. You can also create your own schedules. This one will do it so the whole of the weekend you won't get disturbed. And once you're happy with that, it automatically saves. All you need to do is close that window and that schedule is now set. And during those time periods, you will not get any notifications from Google Chat. So you can focus on what you want to do without being ping-ponged all the time.